Today I'm going to be reacting to a TikTok titled "The Worst Thing for a Photographer." This went viral, so I thought, let me take a look. The worst thing for a photographer. A few things come to mind. Having to sue your clients because they don't want to pay you. Showing up, you don't have a battery, your hard drive, you lost your memory card, don't pay, you're not working, your camera just dies, there are many things that could go wrong as a photographer. I'm curious to see what this one is about. I think the files being corrupted from a photo shoot or you erased your files accidentally, that would probably be the number one thing for any photographer.
So the worst thing that can happen to a photographer when shooting a wedding happened to me. I was transferring the photos and the card got corrupted and I lost all the photos. My card didn't just get copied over, it got cut and copied over, so the card was erased. And that also sucks. So I had all these pictures that look just like this. Pretty much every single one of them look like this. So as you might expect, I panicked and I bought a bunch of programs to try to have the card restored. I got the card restored, but all the pictures still look like that.
No. Okay. I feel like this has happened to a lot of photographers at some point, whether you're starting out or even if you've had experiences, things like this can happen. This is every photographer's nightmare. You do the photo shoot, you finish it, and then the files are corrupted because at this point you can't redo this photo shoot. And especially if it's a wedding. And my cat my cat is like, I need to leave because this is a lot. My cat can't even handle this, and she just sleeps all day. If my cat can't handle it, I don't know who can. When this kind of stuff happens, you run to find recovery programs. You'll pay however much money you need to just to see what you can salvage, and then even then you can't salvage everything, and then sometimes the files turn out like that. They're actually corrupted and they're gone. You can't do anything about it, which I think is the worst thing. And those recovery programs are not cheap. They know that we're desperate. I'm getting nervous for this guy. I hope this has a happy ending.
So as you might expect, I panicked and I bought a bunch of programs to try to have the card restored. I got the card restored, but all the pictures still look like that. So resigned, I sat there and I cried for a minute and I said, this is the worst. This sucks. I have to call the bride and I have to let her know that all those memories from her day that she paid a professional photographer to take are gone. And that sucked. And I called her and I did tell her and I said, hey, I'm trying my damnedest. I've spent hundreds of dollars already trying to fix these photos, get these photos back. I can give you a refund. I will take reshoot photos for you and your husband. You can go, we'll do anywhere you want to go. We'll go and do portraits. I am just so sorry that this happened in the first place. My equipment was faulty. Not that I bought faulty equipment, just shit happens sometimes, and that's not an excuse, and that's not okay, and I am 100% responsible for it. So, that's what I told her.
I'm glad before he told the bride he tried to recover things, because you do want to try to recover whatever you can before you tell your clients. And I say that because sometimes you can recover the files, and so if you tell the clients prematurely, then they'll know something went wrong. At least he was honest with the bride and told her exactly what happened and offered a solution, because some people in this situation, some photographers, literally will disappear and the clients will be reaching out and then they will just be ghosted. And the Facebook page gets deleted. Marie Ann's photography, it's gone. I don't know, she moves to Costa Rica. I don't know. She doesn't do photography anymore. She's a gardener. She opened up a McDonald's franchise. Who knows what happened to this photographer, but that's usually what some people do. They just disappear. They don't confront the issue. They're not honest with their clients. It's a rough way to end their relationship, let me tell you.
So, that's what I told her. One last Hail Mary I thought of was I was going to send the card into a company to try to have the photos restored. They couldn't do it. They sent me a bunch of files that are the size of thumbnails that were useless. And I said, that sucks. That's the worst. And then I was looking at the back of my camera because the card, I could see the pictures. And I said, well, the pictures don't look that bad on here. There's some that are kind of messed up, but the vast majority, I think I can still see them. Maybe there's a thing I can do with that. So I used the Wi-Fi on my camera to transfer the JPEG previews from the camera to my phone. And so slowly I've been transferring all the photos that I can to my phone, and I've saved a whole lot of them. So if you're ever in this predicament and you're ever in this shitty situation, that it might be a Hail Mary, that might be your last ticket, so far I've gotten pictures that looked like the one I showed you that now don't look like that. So hopefully that helps somebody. This just sucks, and I hope it doesn't happen to anybody else. And I learned a whole lot of lessons.
I'm trying to understand here because he said the photos in the back of the camera were good. So then he just sent the previews, the Bluetooth previews. Okay.
The camera to my phone.
So they're JPEG previews. Okay, so they're not going to be full size, full res. That's okay. In this situation, you got to do what you got to. At least you'll be able to get something. Even with JPEG previews, the photos will not be high resolution enough to, let's say, print out like an 11 by 17 or something like that. If the couple, they want to print it out, blow it up, it's gonna show, that quality will show if they are trying to get physical prints, which a lot of clients do want. You can, but I will say that the JPEG previews, at least you have something, and you can resize them larger, you can sharpen them, you can try to like restore some of that quality. At least he has something. I'm glad that he's trying to do all that he can. And again, that's why I said in the beginning, you try to do all of these things before you tell the client what happened. Because sometimes you can actually recover the files, and then your client will never know anything happened in the first place. It's a lesson learned for you, and at least you didn't have to freak out your client and have them stress about their pictures, because no bride wants to hear that something happened to their photos. He made a follow-up video where someone commented, "I truly hope the bride and groom were understanding."
Quick video addressing some questions and statements and comments, whatever. This couple is the kindest, most gracious couple I could have ever hoped to shoot for. They were completely understanding and completely forgiving and just kind. I was very lucky in that aspect. So all those people saying I should have shot with a professional camera, and I'm not a professional because I didn't have dual card slots. I did have dual card slots. What I didn't have was the cards. I grabbed the wrong bag, and the memory cards were in the bag next to the bag I grabbed. I didn't realize it until I got an hour and a half away from my house where I didn't have my memory cards. I was shooting on one of my 5D Mark IVs. I also have 5D Mark IIIs. I have a 5D Mark II. That's a single card camera, but I do have professional cameras. I just made a mistake because I'm a human being, and it has to happen once. And that just happened to be the day.
He's actually using the same camera as me. I use the 5D Mark IV, and it does have dual card slots. When you're doing photography, you always just think everything's gonna work. You don't think anything can go wrong. I mean, it's memory cards. They're gonna work no matter what, right? Wrong. No, though you can't trust, like I said, you can't trust those cards. You never know what's gonna happen. He got lucky because the bride and the groom were understanding, because a lot of people would threaten to sue. They would be really upset. They would have posted something about him online. I mean, we don't know what people do when they're angry, but he got pretty lucky having very understanding clients. I'm seeing some comments on TikTok. If I was the bride, I wouldn't be sad. I'll just do a redo. No, you would be upset if you were the bride. To some degree, you would be upset. You have to imagine the bride and the groom spent months, probably years, planning this wedding, okay? Picking out the perfect dress, paying for the florist, paying for the cake, designing the cake, picking out the chairs, the table covers, the colors for the bridal party. You know, maybe you have guests who flew in from overseas or out of the state to come in for this event. Not something that a simple reshoot is gonna fix. It's just putting a band-aid over the situation. It's good that he offered them something. I think offering a reshoot and a full refund is what you should do. But you're never going to be able to fully solve the issue at hand. The corrupt photo is super cool. Yeah, not to the bride, probably. I don't think the girl who spent like $5,000 on a wedding dress and $7,000 on the venue and flowers and a cake and everything really would agree with that statement. New fear unlocked. Yeah, this is me every time I leave my house to do a photo shoot. I'm like, okay, for the 17th time, let's check to see if I have all my memory cards. Moral of the story, don't get married. Okay, all right. Well, here I am. Owning your mistakes is a difference between a terrible person and someone who's doing their best. Yeah, I agree with that. Like I said, I'm so glad that he didn't just ghost these people. He could have easily just disappeared, okay? The bride and the groom were very forgiving. Unfortunately, a lot of the reality is, the harsh reality, a lot of clients won't be. You might end up with a bride who would who would say, hey, I'm going to sue you. We're going to post about this on Facebook. This really could be the end of a career for someone. So I don't want people to take this lightly. I don't want photographers to think that weddings are easy. It's easy money. People charge a lot of money for weddings because they're a lot of work. Is there anything you can do to avoid this happening to you? Absolutely. Okay, here are my tips. Number 1, please get a protected and water-resistant, weatherproof case for your SD or CF cards, whatever you're shooting with. Please just don't dump it in your, or just throw it in your backpack. Please don't put it in your pocket. The dust from your, what if you have dust or you put something else in your pocket and it, rubs up against the card or something? Listen, don't take the chance. Don't take the chance. If you're going to be dramatic in your life about anything, it's going to be about the memory cards, because this is going to hold your future and your career right here, okay? Anything happens to these cards, it's not going to be good. Like, I don't trust these cards. Yeah, we're cool and everything. Yeah, we've had moments together. It's been fun. It's been fun, you guys, but I don't trust you guys. I don't trust them. And neither should you. Yes, I have a DSLR. Don't judge me. Okay, I didn't upgrade to mirrorless yet. Another thing that you can do is shoot with dual cards, okay? You can set up your camera to shoot with dual cards. What does this mean to any of us? It means that while you are shooting on this CF card, you can also have all those same files copied on an SD card. So while you're shooting, your camera will actually write it on both CF and the SD card. And you can assign the SD card to have maybe low res, medium res, JPEGs, so that it doesn't take up too much space, but just so that you have a copy of it on this card, just in case something happens. When you're putting in your cards, it's gonna look like this. Both cards will be in that slot. You will have to adjust your in-camera settings for this. So I would definitely just look up a tutorial on how to do this. Another tip I can give you guys is if something does happen where you accidentally erase your files, like you're at the wedding shoot and you erase files on your card, don't shoot on that card anymore. Just save it, put it to the side, because if you keep shooting on that card, you may overwrite the files that you could have recovered. Okay, so again, if this happens, like you're actively on a photo shoot and you accidentally erase pictures, do not shoot on that card anymore. Another tip, make sure you double check your file settings before you start shooting. Double check everything, like the battery percentage. Did you charge all your batteries? Do you have all of your memory cards? Do you have all of your lenses? Which lenses did you bring? Did you bring the right lenses for that camera? You want to double and triple check everything. Some people are like, yeah, that's why I don't shoot weddings. Weddings are not a joke at all. I think people see the amount of money photographers charge and are like, oh, I will do that. That will make me a lot of money. You don't even know what goes into it. You don't know the preparation that goes into shooting a wedding. I feel like I have the weddings with my clients. I'm like, we're all getting married, to be honest with you. I'm getting married to these pictures here. And you got to make sure that you're on the best. You have to be flawless when you're shooting weddings. You cannot afford to make a mistake. And that's the harsh truth. What do you guys think about this whole situation? Leave your thoughts in the comments, and any advice you have for photographers who may be just starting out and are thinking of doing weddings. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video.